no matter what level of pressure Kevin Durant is under, he's a two-time NBA champion. He's now a three-time gold medalist. He's all of those things. When you think about Russell Westbrook, it really comes, he's so great, but he's been out of the first round in 4 of the last 5 years. And when you look at it from that perspective, to now be playing with LeBron, which brings its own level of pressure, and AD, Anthony Davis, if you're Russell Westbrook and you go to LA and y'all can't find a way to close the deal, a lot of people's going to look at that. Now, you can sit up there and say, well, they'll look at LeBron, but I will remind you LeBron's a 4-time champion. LeBron's a 4-time champion who's been to 10 NBA finals. So if the Lakers don't advance to the finals, it's not like you're looking at LeBron James, who, by the way, is 36 years of age. You know, Russell's 32. He's gonna pick up the pace because the Lakers were a slow team. They damn sure ain't gonna be slow with him on the court. We know how electrifying he is as a player. He's absolutely unstoppable. He's a walking triple-double. The question is going to be, are you going to be that piece that can take the Lakers over the hump in a Western Conference that's got at least 6 potential title contenders? To me, it's Russell Westbrook more so than KD.
Now, Stephen A., when we have these debates, we are assuming health, right? Like, we're assuming these teams are healthy.
We're assuming health.
If you assume health, there's no one under more pressure. Let me rephrase that. The guy under the most pressure is Kevin Durant, even though he has multiple NBA championships and multiple NBA Finals MVPs. And the reason is this. And KD, I want the lower third you have for LeBron, Stephen A. You might need it for KD too. But he is the most talented player ever at his height, ever in the history of basketball. He's obviously a diligent worker. He would never get to this height.
Astute businessman. Astute businessman. Let's not forget 35 inches.
He is extremely. When you hear KD talk, I've interacted with him very little, but when you hear him talk, he's obviously highly intelligent. You see the way he's handled career, highly intelligent. And he is an authentic person. He comes across as a real guy. So all that is true about Kevin Durant. But this is what you sign up for when you put together a team like the one they have in Brooklyn. You have to win. If you're KD, these guys are healthy, you must win. I noticed, Stephen A., you said Lakers have to get to the finals because we all recognize, look what they got in Brooklyn. If they're healthy, good luck, everybody. KD understood because he is so intelligent and obviously has a lot of passion for basketball. Guy just loves to play basketball. But he also must have recognized if I wind up without a chip, people will never recognize really what I'm capable of, my actual level. So, and as we're all complaining, you called it the weakest move ever for a superstar, and I was saying it doesn't even count if he wins because they can't lose. Meantime, he goes and wins 2 chips. Our whole perception of him changed. It went from he's this incredibly talented player to where exactly are we putting him among the very greatest players of all time? Is he there with LeBron challenging MJ, or is he just with Bird and Magic and everybody? Like that, he was right about the way we would perceive him. He was right. He joined an unstoppable team. We took some credit away, and even still, in terms of the way he's perceived, he was right. But Stephen A., when you do that, here's what you sign up for. You must win. If KD on this Brooklyn team, who's now been together for a year, even though not always on the court or not often on the court together, going into next season with this crew, comes up short, and coming up short means not winning a championship, that's a failure for KD. That's almost like a scandalous failure, and he won't live it down. There's more pressure on him than anyone.
Well, first of all, Max, you're wrong, completely wrong. And guess why you're more wrong than anybody else? Guess who can prove that you're more wrong than anybody else can prove, even more so than me? You know who that person is, Max Kellerman?
Who's that?
You. You are the one that is on the record. Correct me if I'm wrong, Molly. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're the matriarch of this show, doing an outstanding job that keeps us in check. You understand? You keeps us composed and focused and right on the money. So you usually do that by your recall, your ability to recollect certain things. Molly, you can confirm that Max Kellerman is on the record stating on numerous occasions, nobody has more pressure than James Harden.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
James Harden is the
playoffs,
one.
Yeah.
because James Harden is the one that hasn't won a championship. James Harden is the prolific scorer. James Harden is the one that's been knocking on the door. So if the Brooklyn Nets somehow, some way don't get over the hump, just like they didn't do when KD dropped 49, the day I predicted he dropped 50, but he gets to the free throw line with 48 points and he misses the front end.
I'm like, get you.
Good Lord have mercy.
That's why he signed with the Nets. If you would have kept your mouth shut, he'd be a Knick right now.
I said the brother would drop 50, and he went to the line with 48, and an 85-plus free throw percent shooter missed the front end. Okay,
man, Stephen A.
But here's the thing. He's a bad brother, no question. Here's the thing. We all looked at the Brooklyn Nets, and we didn't say KD. We looked at Harden because obviously his health. I'm simply saying, Max, I'm pointing to what you have religiously said over the years when James Harden was leading the league in scoring, and then he obviously advanced to the Brooklyn Nets. You said, there's more pressure on him than anybody. So how can it be both?
It's a fair point, and let me respond to that. What we saw from Harden in this last season, I thought during the regular season, that's game for game the best player in the league. That includes everybody. He was game for game the best player in the league. Jokic, Embiid, LeBron, KD. Regular season, it was Harden. And he has had troubles in the playoffs, and certainly if he chokes, if Harden goes out there and chokes, and that's why they lose, well then yes, he has brought that pressure on himself. But what KD has done recently, there's been a sea change. There's, in terms of the way he's perceived, it's not just he is among the heir apparents to LeBron. There are many people now, given the way he played when he didn't really have Harden or Kyrie in the playoffs, given what he just did in the Olympics, given the fact that he won those two MVP finals, and final MVPs. There are people, I believe including you, who push comes to shove, if you're asked right now who's the best player in the game.
I say Kevin Durant. I've been saying it I've saying it at least a year.
No,
I think he's the best in the world.
You've been saying he's better than LeBron? I don't think so. Last couple months, for sure.
I've been saying for the last year, I think he's the best in the world.
Okay,
when healthy.
even in that case, that is now, I think, the prevailing opinion, that KD is, in fact, if you have to choose, people are taking KD over LeBron now.